So, Sonic Mania. Pretty great, right? I think it's pretty safe to say that we all know what it really should be called. It's the proper follow-up we've been waiting for. Sonic 4 Episode 3. We're past the honeymoon phase of the game though, and some genuine criticism is making the rounds. In particular, there's an argument that I always used to take for granted. I was honestly just used to accepting it as true. The idea that lives are something that don't belong in games anymore. And before Sonic Mania, I would have agreed. It reminded me of something important. I think we've gotten away from the true purpose of lives over the years. Sure, they have their origins in arcade machines designed to get kids to burn through as many quarters as possible, but they stay with games long after that. However, the way games are made has changed. We live in a world of popular games like Uncharted, which put a lot more value on cinematics, trying to make things as smooth as possible. A lot of games have moved away from really punishing the player, or harsh difficulty in general. It's actually something that has bothered me about this era of games in general, where my choices are between a game without much genuine difficulty or a game where difficulty is part of its marketing campaign, with very little middle ground. Shortly after finishing Sonic Mania, I played a game that perfectly showcases the argument for lives being irrelevant in the modern age, DuckTales Remastered. This is a remake of an NES classic, so it gives you limited lives on most of the difficulties, but the way the game is designed seems best fit for easy mode, which in addition to giving you more hits, gives you infinite lives. This is partially because of the choice to add tons of cinematics to the game, which regularly interrupt the gameplay. Losing all your lives just boots you back to the title screen. You lose all your progress and have to sit through the cinematics again. You can skip them, but it's still a constant nuisance. But the deeper issue beyond the annoyance is DuckTales levels are very linear and very long. If you lose all your lives, getting back to where you were just means going through the motions again. There's not a lot you can do differently in a level. You can basically just aim for a higher score. It's cumbersome, a waste of time. It's easy to see why lives are something that some people don't want in their game, but it's different with Sonic Mania. An argument I've heard several times when people talk about Sonic Mania is, what if I can get through a level perfectly but keep dying on the boss? And here's the thing, if you're dying on the boss, you're not getting through the level perfectly. Long past the point where you can do a perfect run of a Sonic level, you'll be skilled enough to crush the boss. This game isn't New Super Mario Bros. Or whatever other platformer. The levels are massive, the skill ceiling is high. If you die too much against a boss, it's not a punishment to be sent back to Act 1. It's an opportunity. Rather than bashing your head against a challenge until you brute force past it, you're sent back and given a chance to go through the stage with a better time. Arrive at the boss with a shield, more rings, more lives. If you're playing Sonic Mania optimally, you'll be beating the levels insanely fast, and if anything you'll want to shave extra seconds off your time. You'll know all sorts of routes and secrets, you should have plenty of lives, but most people won't play the game enough to get to that level of mastery. So instead, your choices are to be careful, and learn to deal with a difficult section, or die and try a different path. If you're not stuck on a boss but a specific part of the level, you can probably even bypass it if you go through a different route. All of this incentivizes finding and keeping lots of rings, searching for one-up monitors, and just finding better routes in general. The lives in Sonic Mania work to augment the design. It's modern proof that lives are only antiquated if you let them be. You can't just slap them onto a game, but they can add value.